My latest design's getting there, but there's still room for improvement. Better make my finishing touches before the deadline creeps up. Where's my key? Not again. It's good to get out and stretch your legs once in a while. People aren't made to stay cooped up inside all the time.
Should I save this money or invest it?
Error.
Where's my key? Not again. My latest design's getting there, but there's still room for improvement. Better make my finishing touches before the deadline creeps up.
Should I save this money or invest it?
The ability to appreciate beauty is an important virtue. Where's my key? Not again.
Should I save this money or invest it?
My latest design's getting there, but there's still room for improvement. Better make my finishing touches before the deadline creeps up. Where's my key?
Should
Not
I
again.
save this money or invest it?
Where's my key? Not again.
Save this money or invest it?
Where's my key? Oh, not again.
Error. Should I save this money or invest it?
Where's my key? Oh, not again.
Should I save this money or invest it?
The ability to appreciate beauty is an important virtue. Where's my key? Oh, not again. My latest design's getting there, but there's still room for improvement. Better make my finishing touches before the deadline creeps up. Where's my key? Oh, not again.
Should I save this money or invest it? Error.
It's good to get out and stretch your legs once in a while. People aren't made to stay cooped up inside all the time. Where's my key? Oh, not again.
Should I save this money or invest it?
My latest design's getting there, but there's still room for improvement. Better make my finishing touches before the deadline creeps up.
Whoa! There's a house all the way out here? Huh. It's so well hidden, Paimon's never noticed it before.
Nor have I. And I've hosted clinics at Qingsa village many times in the past. If you ask me, Jiangli was trying to remain unnoticed.
Oh, that reminds Paimon. We meant to ask earlier, but it slipped our minds in the rush to get here. Could you tell us more about Jiangli? You said she was your fellow disciple, right?
She was indeed. We studied medicine together under the same master near Chenyu Vale. She is several years older than I and also began her travels far earlier than me. As a result, the time I spent studying alongside her was rather short.
Supposedly, she met an herb gatherer sometime during her travels and decided to settle down with him. That must have been Jialiang.
Wait, Changxiang, are you saying neither of you had actually met Jialiang or Ayu before all of this?
Jiangli did occasionally come back to Chenyu Vale to see our master, but for whatever reason, she hardly ever talked about her family. The last time she visited us, she and Master had some sort of quarrel. We never heard from her after that. It almost seemed as if she'd gone into hiding.
Quarrel? What happened?
I don't know. I did not witness the argument myself.
Nor did Master ever explain it to me. All he would say is that should I ever encounter Jiangli or her family in the future, I should do everything in my power to help them.
Oh, so that's why you went to such extreme lengths to help Jialiang.
No. Even if my master had never said anything, it would still be my duty as a doctor to help him. My decision would have remained the same.
Paimon never knew you were so selfless, Baizhu. Paimon always had you down as the sneaky, scheming type. Sorry.
So a few words from me is enough to dispel all your suspicions? You ought not be quite so quick to relax your guard, Paimon. Sometimes even the good guys have their own private agenda.
What the? Okay, that was the most suspicious sounding thing you've ever said.
Let's leave the idle chatter there for now. Jiangli has lived in this house for many years. There must be something here that can shed a little light on this whole situation. Let's split up. But if anyone finds anything, we'll examine it together. Chung Shung and I found a hidden compartment. This is what was hidden inside.
You sense it too? You're right. This is a poison concocted using god remains.
Is it? Breathing? Paimon's not seeing things, is she?
No, your eyes do not deceive you. I do believe some toxins act a lot like living organisms. I read about this once in the Origins and Symptoms of Diseases. This ancient class of poisons consists of mother and minor loads, capable of sustaining a connection over vast distances. If it's a concoction of this kind we're dealing with, then both the poison in Jialiang's system and this one here are likely minor loads. Offshoots, essentially.
Offshoots? So, the main body is somewhere else?
Correct. Whoever is administering the poison can manipulate the source to indirectly control the poisoned individual's behavior and even cognition. Similarly, the poisoned individual will hear, to a varying extent, the call of the source.
The call of the... Wait. So, back when Jialiang ran off, maybe that explains where he was heading!
Only one thing could have been drawing him there. The source of the god remains used as the poison's key ingredient, the mother lode.
This is getting crazier and crazier. What kind of person would do all this just to poison Jialiang? Hey, why has everyone gone quiet all of a sudden?
Since this poison was carefully hidden away in a secret compartment, the one who concocted it is likely a resident of the house.
You mean Jialiang? Why would he poison himself?
Think a little harder, Paimon. Someone else who lives here, and who might have expertise in crafting drugs.
Huh? So you're saying... it was Jiang Li? Wait, but that doesn't make any sense either! Why would she poison her own husband?
I agree. It makes little sense. Jiang Li does not strike me as the kind of person who would do such a thing.
Look at the facts, though. How many people in the entirety of Liyue have the ability to concoct a poison from god remains?
It's too early to draw any conclusions. We should question Jialiang about it once he has made more progress in his recovery.
Que que estás? Não, eu tenho que estar aqui. Eu é que não estou a ouvir porque estou a ver a stream, sorry. E porque tu estás a falar bem baixo. Fala lá agora. Por que estás a falar baixo?
Yes. According to the Origins and Symptoms of Diseases, the minor loads will disappear if the mother lode is purged. So if we can find and destroy the source of these god remains, the poison will leave Jialiang's system without the need for any further treatment. Do you know anything about god remains in Qingsa village?
Even the history books have no record of this. The only ones who'll know anything are those old fogies who have been hanging around here since the beginning of time.
Didn't you used to be on good terms with the Adepti, though? You sure they didn't tell you anything about this?
Well,
Changsheng's memories and powers are not what they were in her prime. These days, she has to enter a contract with a mortal and share their life force just to sustain her own life. I fear that such ancient events are long gone from her memory by now.
Whoa, what? Enter a contract? Share life force? Sounds like some pretty spooky sorcery if you ask Paimon.
hey, plenty of people would jump at the chance to join forces with a powerful being like me. With my assistance in rebalancing your chi, not only can you extend your lifespan, but you will also be stronger, healthier, and able to eat whatever you like with no risk of upsetting your stomach.
Stronger and healthier? Wow, that's amazing! Baizhu, maybe when you retire, you can let Paimon sign a contract with Changsheng for a few days.
Unfortunately, Changsheng's contract has strict requirements regarding the host's temperament. None of her hosts have ever been exempted from these rules. I fear that I will be unable to accommodate your wishes, Paimon.
Temperament? Hey! What are you trying to say? Did you just subtly insult Paimon to her face? Ugh! Paimon's mad! You're getting ugly nicknames, both of you! Baizhu, you're Mannequin Man! Changsheng, you're just a pain in the neck!
This is exactly why your natural temperament makes you woefully unsuited to being my host.
All right, everybody, calm down. Back to the matter at hand. Is there any way at all for us to seek counsel from the Adepti about this?
With how antisocial they are, if it were up to them, they'd go their whole lives without showing their faces to the common folk. What?
Seems you're as well connected as they say, traveler. We are truly fortunate to have you on our side.
Oh. If you're talking about who Paimon thinks you're talking about, you better do the honors.
You called?
Ah! Ugh, gets Paimon every time.
Aren't all Adepti in the habit of materializing out of thin air like this?
Well, this is unexpected.
Huh? It's...
Baizhu of Boo Boo Pharmacy. I do believe I've had the pleasure before. The Lantern Rite, when we met briefly, I was unaware of your true identity. I must apologize for the discourtesy.
Huh? You two already know each other?
Our paths have crossed once before. I sense the presence of evil spirits. Is this why you called me? So someone has been concocting demonic poison. Too often, fervent desires drive mortals to abandon all regard for their own safety. It is lamentable. I now know what you seek. It is true that a god's remains are buried beneath the foundations of Qingce village. A vile monster known as the Chi once wrought havoc over this land, before it was subdued by Rex Lapis. The land was finally cleansed of poison when Rex Lapis used statues in his likeness to seal the serpent's remains. Qingce village was founded some time after that. The seal is still mostly intact, If the Ch is the source, then it must be some of its blood leaking from deep underground. However, its aura is faint and barely detectable. You will need to investigate further to identify the location of the leak. I do not like to intervene against mortals unless absolutely necessary. But when demonic forces are involved, things can spiral out of control. If that happens, be sure to call my name again. Nothing. I do not wish to sway decisions that are mortals to make, but immortality may not be the blessing that you imagine it to be.
I shall treasure your words of instruction, Master Adeptus.
Farewell.
What a strange Adeptus. Rather different from the way I remember them.
That's Xiao for ya! And thanks to him, we finally got some concrete info to go off of.
If the god remains are leaking from underground, Jiangli must be paying a visit to a subterranean cave on her herb-gathering trips. If we can find the cave...
Master!
Gui? Did you run all the way from Boo Boo Pharmacy?
What happened? Don't panic. Just catch your breath and tell me everything.
It's Jiaoliang. He was fine one minute, and then he suddenly took a turn for the worse.
Already? How? Based on past experience, he should have been fine for the next 3 days at least.
It seems that my worst fears have been... Everyone, back to Boo Boo Pharmacy.
Dad, what's wrong? Dad?
Don't be scared. Dr. Baizhu will be back soon.
How is he doing?
Dr. Baizhu, you're back! My dad was...
When Gui left, he was still conscious.
Gui, please take Jiaoliang to the back room and prepare for treatment.
Yes, of course.
Don't worry, Ayu. I will cure your father.
Baizhu's not gonna use Changsheng's secret art again, is he?
How are you feeling, Dad? Are you still hurting it?
Much better, Ayu. Master said he needed to take a quick rest and asked me to bring you out of the treatment room. He hasn't emerged yet, so he must still be resting.
Oh, really? I don't...
No, the event...
I'll come with...
Don't forget what Master said. You're still not out of the woods yet, Jialiang.
Though, on the bright side.
Traveler? Baizhu hasn't shown his face. Huh? Hey, wait up!
Huh?
You're finally awake?
There was no time. I had no other choice. In any case, Jiang Li's design is quite brilliant. She makes...
So, how much longer?
They've been outside waiting for you the whole time.
Surely he hasn't.
Who's talking behind our backs again?
Ah! Baizhu!
Of course.
Jialiang seemed fine yet.
And as a result...
What? You mean...
Yes. But more pertinently, the poison in Jialiang's system is there precisely because it is being used to manage his underlying... Jialiang has a rare congenital heart condition. Though it was created...
Had he not taken it all these years, he likely would have died a long time ago.
Still. Moreover...
That explains why Ayu said his dad has been giving work.
God remains are extremely dangerous to be around. Because humans have... I fear that the situation is...
I never suspected that to sacrifice one's own life to save others. To go beyond...
Well, I think that in any case, I have stable her regular exposure to and given that she's already been missing for several days, I am fearing the...
It's me, Traveler, Dr. Baizhu.
It's Jialiang! Don't tell Paimon you overheard it.
Dr. Baizhu, please, you've already done so much for my family. I can no longer just sit here and watch while you put your... After all, if it wasn't for me, she wouldn't have had to put herself in harm's way in the first... I'm sure I'll be able to remember.
Be careful. If you get too agitated, your blood pressure and stress levels will rise, putting further pressure on your heart. For your own safety, you should stay here and rest.
No! We're out of time! Before I forget everything again.
This trip will be extremely dangerous.
I never expected to live this long. There's only one thing I fear now.
Very well.
Dr. Baizhu, are you heading out?
Yes. This could be a long one. Could you please prepare a dose of the usual formula? Please add an extra measure of mistgrass pollen, and 1 dose each. Hop to it now, and
Okay.
the day I went missing. It's as if something inside...
The Motherlode's influence is growing stronger. But Jialiang, can you sense which direction the...
I think it's... this way. Yes, I'm sure of it. I feel a dull ache in my heart. This must be the way. This place feels familiar. I think I've been here before.
There is an inauspicious presence here. Even I can sense it.
I think I remember this place.
Jialiang, are you okay? Maybe you should rest here while we continue the search.
No, I have to keep going. Jiangli is still waiting for me. Then let's hurry.
This place gives...
The digging marks here appear amateur.
A thieves' tunnel? Paimon...
Judging by the tools they left behind, but why did they abandon this place without even...
I remember now. She took me here once and told me that she'd found a way to save me in this cave. But she said that the
Easy, Jialiang. A bitter pill to swallow.
Dissipate! Emerge, right here, right now. The bond is strong. The doctor was seen.
Remember, health comes first.
Whoa, there's a sensor here. Those treasure hoarders sure made themselves at home.
I believe this sensor was used to burn a monster-repelling incense.
A monster repelling incense?
The incense was burned several days ago. If I had to guess, the monsters we fought just now were enticed here by some entity deeper inside the cave. No doubt an encounter with the very same after them. Jiangli was the...
That's right. This sensor. It belongs... This is where...
Jialiang!
I'm fine. Let's keep going. I can feel it. feel it. We're getting close. We're almost there. It's right up ahead. The place where we made a pact together to...
We can keep going now.
From the looks of it, the energy released by this mechanism can not only clear barriers, but also be conducted by corresponding mechanisms. Perhaps it's something we can make use of.
Doesn't see any barrier-breaking mechanisms around here.
There are tracks here, and it looks like they're connected to something. Shall we follow it and see where it takes us?
Sight clear!
Right here, right now.
Watch and learn! Yeah! Yeah! Huh! Huh!
This way! I'll settle this! Emerge!
Mind the side effects. This is nothing.
The doctor will see you now.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Right here, right now, right here.
Taking a turn for the better.
The doctor will see you now.
Jiangli!
Look out! There's a monster next
god remains must have lured them here. Watch my back. Mind the side effects.
Our bond is strong. Out of my way!
Come at me! Breaking new ground!
Stand with me! No one! Emerge! Right here.
Mind the side effects. Seems like an emergency.
Dr. Baizhu, how serious is it?
I can still feel a pulse, but her condition is quite... The god remains here are encroaching on her cognition, much as the poison in your system did to you. If we don't eliminate it soon, then even...
Then, what are we waiting for?
It's not as simple as that. Don't you remember what Baizhu said? The poison within Jialiang's body is inextricably linked to the god remains here. If the source is purged, the poison in his system will stop having any effect.
And the poison within... Oh no.
Indeed. If the god remains here are purged, then your life will come to an end.
I wondered when this day might...
Wait! But we've all been working on Baizhu. You're great...
You could continue to take the poison, which would buy you some time. As for Jiangli, maybe if we put our heads together, we can think of something?
It appears to me that she was striving to concoct your medicine for you, right up until the moment when she lost...
Dr. Baizhu, give it to me straight. How long does Jiangli have?
The god remains have reached her internal organs. Under ordinary circumstances...
But what would be the point of that? Dr. Baizhu, I'm all too aware of the dangers of god remains. You are not the first to mention it to me. If I continue to sustain my own life using this wretched substance, not only would Jiangli have to keep risking her life to make my medicine for me, but I would have to live with the looming threat of these remains breaking out and wreaking havoc not just upon me, but my entire family. I know for a fact that I should have died over a decade ago. If my choice can bring Jiangli back, then even if I...
Jialiang.
After cheating death for so long, it... Traveler, Doctor...
Of course.
Thank you, everyone. And I'm sorry that I won't be able to repay your kindness in this life.
Jialiang. Baizhu, Changsheng.
I am sure that over the years, Jiangli will have tried all the conventional methods known to humankind. As for less conventional
Mortals are fated to grow old.
What a crazy situation. Jiangli risked it all to save Jialiang's life. And now, Jialiang has to sacrifice it.
I've seen many final farewell.
In the human realm, all things must come to an end. At least, that's what generations of...
The path they chose was indeed a heroic one. But when I think of those who would willingly sacrifice themselves for others, I cannot help but think that theirs are the lives least deserving of death.
When all this began, we agreed that once Ayu was old enough to help you gather herbs, it would be time for me to go. If you could only see him now. He took me all the way to Liyue Harbor to see the doctor. And he even got the Adventurers Guild to search for you. So, I know that you'll both be okay without me. I've said my goodbyes. My time.
As you wish.
eat away at both your cognition and your memories. In the end...
I'll take it. At the very least, it will allow me to stay with you and watch how you grow up.
Mom, something's really wrong with Dad.
Don't fret, Ayu. I will gather some medicinal herbs right away. I promise you, nothing will happen to our family.
Why would these memories come to mind now? The longer we live, oh, how I would love to hear.
Jialiang! Jialiang! Jialiang!
Dad, are you awake?
Jiangli, didn't I... Huh? What are these?
How does it feel to come back to life?
Do you feel strange or different in any way? If so, could you describe it to me in detail?
Dr. Baizhu, I thought that I was going to...
Die? You did indeed. As things stand now, you're more akin to a zombie than a human.
I'm a zombie?
That's right. Before we set off, I asked Chi-Chi to prepare an elixir of course, this is but a crude imitation of an Adeptus art. I don't expect it to extend your life indefinitely. Whether it will keep you alive for a few days, a few months, or a few years, I'm as interested as you to find out. But, however long you have left, I believe it should be more than sufficient time for you to say your final goodbyes before departing the world in peace. I hope that Director Hu finds this arrangement to be a satisfactory...
An elixir of immortality? How'd you cook that up? Ugh. Leave it to you to work on something like that behind my back.
It's a work in progress that hardly lives up to its name, and it would have had no effect were it not for Jialiang's iron will. In the end, I am merely a doctor. I understand very little of the great principles governing life and death and the perpetual cycle of yin and yang. All I know is that if I'm presented with a life that deserves to be saved, I will do everything in my power to save them. And even this would have counted for nothing without Director Hu's assistance. After all, did you not tell Jialiang to show us the way before we set off for Qingsa village?
Oops. And I'm...
Without Director Hu nudging things in the right direction, we may not have found Jiangli in time.
No wonder he didn't mention the elixir back then. I thought he was being frank and transparent with me for once, but apparently not.
Director Hu told me to keep...
Never underestimate a serpent's sense of smell.
All I wanted was to help Jialiang find his missing wife as soon as possible, so that he could be on his way to the afterlife without any unfulfilled wishes making the journey more difficult than it needs to be. Leave it to Boo Boo Pharmacy to snatch the perfect opportunity right out of my hands at the last hurdle. Never mind. I'll just have to put it down in the books as a deferred consideration. One Chi-Chi was enough of a conundrum. The last thing I need's another one. If I'd known this was coming, I'd have whisked him off to the Wangsheng funeral parlor the moment I found him.
You stay away from my dad! When I grow up, I'm gonna become an even better doctor than Mom and Baizhu, and cure Dad for good!
Oh, is that right? Well, you wouldn't be the first person who's tried to put Wangsheng funeral parlor out of business. Traveler, Paimon, I'll catch you up.
Is she... All's well that ends well. If you ask Paimon, we should probably do something. At times.
It feels like it was a whole lifetime.
Yay! Paimon can. All right. First things first.
Oh, wait up! I'll come too!
Baizhu, thank you so...
Don't mention it, Jiangli.
Just your duty, huh? Baizhu. Time flies. It's been so long since we bade each other farewell in Chenyu Vale. Changshang, you're the same as ever. You haven't changed one bit.
You, on the other hand, have changed a lot.
You're right. My younger self would have never imagined that things would one day turn out this way. Or that you'd turn out this way, Baizhu. I've taken a look at your elixir of immortality. It's not altogether dissimilar from the poison I concocted in terms of the way it functions.
I have to say, Jiangli, it was a stroke of genius to use poison to maintain life. I hope you're not too upset at me for copying your method.
No, not at all. With your intellect, even if you'd never seen my poison, I believe you would have eventually arrived at the same approach. But I'm still impressed by how quickly you managed to gain such a thorough understanding. Not just that. You even managed... Baizhu, be honest with me. Did you try out some of the poison on yourself?
Huh. Told you the truth would surface sooner or later.
Life force isn't the only thing that Changshang's contract...
Nothing gets past you, Jiangli. You are correct. Besides life force, Changsheng's secret art also allows for the transfer of toxins and disease. When I treated Jia Liang for the second time, I transferred some of the poison from his body into my own. Not only did this allow me to alleviate the burden on him, but it also gave me an opportunity to study its There is no need to worry about any long-term consequences to my health, however. Now that the source has been destroyed, any remaining poison in me will have already dissipated.
But you took such a huge risk. If we had... What am I saying? The reason I left our master and went into hiding all... But in the end, how are all disciples of Chenyu Vale destined to turn out this way?
We are doctors, Jiangli. We ought never say...
Baizhu, I can tell that, over the years, you've used the contract with Changshang to transfer many diseases and toxins to yourself. There are so many that some of them I don't even recognize. Can you still stop before it's too late?
I think you know the answer, Jiangli. Every one of us from Chenyu Vale believes in the same thing.
Hey, food's ready!
Mom, come and join us! The Traveler taught me a load of new recipes.
Yes, darling. Mom will be there in just a second. Baizhu, I know I won't be able to convince you, but Chi-Chi, Gui, and all the friends who have grown fond of you...
There's no need to worry, Jia.
I can...
Baizhu, what did Jiangli mean by not around anymore? Are you gonna be okay?
Every single mortal I've ever contracted with, including Baizhu and Zhongli's master, has passed away at a young age.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. You said that the contract with you helps people live longer.
It is a very long story.
Even cutscene.
Long ago, when plagues ravaged the land, one doctor made a pledge to rid the world of pain and suffering. But even the most ingenious mortal medicine could not stay the tide of disease. And after working tirelessly for many years, even his dearest loved ones fell sick and bade their final farewell. Legends told of an herb lord in Venham who could cure any illness known to mankind. The doctor sought the herb lord, but found only a white snake, its breathing weak and its power all but spent.
Sign this contract and let our lives be joined. Then I will impart to you the secret art of healing. But be warned, this art will harm your own health.
With means beyond human ken, the doctor could now reverse the process of death. And yet, the time still came to say goodbye. Only now, the one departing was the doctor, his life force spent. His final act in life was to pass on the contract to his final patient, his favorite disciple. The disciple chose to dedicate their life to saving the lives of others. And generation upon generation followed in these footsteps. Since I inherited this contract, I've always respected the path taken by my predecessors, and followed it myself unquestioningly. That is until I tried to use the art to save my own disciple's beloved. She begged me not to use up my own life force. She said that this art is a poison chalice, an evil and unnatural practice. She did not wish to sacrifice one life for the sake of another, when both were lives she treasured. Only then did it occur to me. Did I not suffer when my master passed away, just as patients' families do at their loved one's deathbed? Are not the lives cut short by this contract just as worthy of saving as any patient's? What is this contract to us? Medicine or poison? Alas, I no longer have enough time left to find the answer. I entrust to your care both Changsheng and this final question. May you find a remedy for this conundrum, which has ailed us so.
Time and again, no matter how much I try to warn them or balance their chi, I can never save them. And you? What's your answer?
If I abandoned the contract and left you without a host, what would happen?
I suppose I'd spend my final moments taking a nice nap on Mount Yaojun. Then I'd be reunited with my old friends and your predecessors.
Then it's decided. If there's a life in front of me that deserves to be saved, why shouldn't I do everything within my power to save it?
Once again, it's the same answer. So be it. Close your eyes. Who knows how many more people will take on this contract?
None. This contract will end with me.
My contract has strict
Baizhu.
requirements on the host's natural temperament. All my hosts have been most pure of heart.
But when one with an altruistic
Não vai.
nature gains access to this art, they are more seduced than the average
vai.
person by the miracle of overturning the laws of life and death. Though they know better than anyone else the fate that awaits
Desde
them,
as 6 da tarde.
when faced with the sorrows of humanity and the pain of losing their nearest and dearest, they cannot help but reach beyond human means. They are like moths that throw themselves into the flame,
Para mim
seeking a
não.
glimmer
Para ti
of
pode
hope
vir, para mim não
in
vai.
a
Vem
dark
de luz.
world filled with pain and suffering.
Aham, o filho da puta veio primeiro que ele.
Does that mean
I suppose that would make me a
Quem?
moth that yearns for the light,
Agora
but
vou-te
doesn't want to be
perguntar,
burned
onde é
to
que
a
eu vou
crisp.
arranjar os primogênitos?
Chang Sheng's art can transfer pain and suffering between people, but it cannot reduce the total amount of pain in the world.
É que esquece-te, eu já
It's
tenho
just
tudo
like we
zerado.
witnessed.
Só tenho
Either
a tua a terminar
Jialiang
agora a
feared for
missão do Baizhu
Jiali's
Quest.
life,
Atenção,
or
não abras a
Jiang
partilha,
Li
se não vais
grieved
levar
over
spoiler.
Jialiang's sacrifice. I have nothing but the utmost
Também já é no
respect for my
final, já estou na
predecessors,
missão,
who
na...
sacrificed their lives for their principles. But I do not wish to join their ranks,
É já a parte
nor do I
final do
wish to
Baizhu.
pass on this contract to anyone
O
else in
Café
the
veio,
future.
mas vou dizer, dos 80 pulos,
didn't you already
90
transfer
pulos
a
que eu
ton of
fiz,
diseases onto
93,
yourself?
sabes quantos cafés tem?
What makes a poison poison? And what
Conseguiu
makes a
ser 6
disease
fichel
a
e não parou de
disease?
calhar fichel.
When it comes
Tem
down to it,
café.
are not both mechanisms
Já o
that
pus a
affect the
90, porque
operations of the
buildei,
human body?
eu tratei
If
de
disease is
tudo.
defined as
Agora vais
deviation
um
from normal
Tenho ele
functioning,
garantido.
then who knows?
Mas
Perhaps the true elixir of immortality could in fact be a kind
estou a
of
tentar
poison.
fazer tudo, vou tentar ver
Many
se
may
faço
view the
isso.
notion of searching for immortality in poisons
ver
and
se-
illnesses as a flagrant violation of the natural order. But to me,
Claro,
it is
isso não
no
se
different
pergunta.
from the way our
Eu sei que vais
ancestors tested
receber,
the
não vale a
medicinal
pena.
qualities of herbs by sampling each and every one. I don't
Ah.
want those who come after me to lose their lives to this contract. Nor do I wish for Cheng Sheng to perish from losing her host. This leaves only one solution, doesn't it?
Uhum. Ah, ok, tens 22, vais fazer 2 5. Ok. Tinhas quanto? Setenta e tal? Ó, já começa, nem vou dizer nada. There you go, Baizhu. There you go. E com o café. Ah. You go to. There you go. Não sei, agora é só fazer pulo nas armas. Aconselho-te mesmo profundamente fazer pulos nas armas. Porque o Baizhu é uma merda sem uma arma de HP. E só tens uma 4 estrelas e 2 5 estrelas. As 2 5 estrelas é a dele e a da Kokomi. Ele é giro. Eu gostei bué do estilo do Café. E vou dizer, as pessoas estão todas a fazer Bloom Team com ele. Eu estou-me a cagar, eu não vou fazer Bloom Team. Se aparecer Hydron no meio, eu faço. Eu estou a correr como se fosse Quicken Team, em que os DPS é ele e o All Item. Os suportes, os de raio, são a Yaemiko e a Cookie. Eu estou a sacar com 555 dos talentos, ele já está a 90 e está com a 4 estrelas de Sumero. A arma 4 estrelas de Sumero. Nem sequer está com uma arma de Elementar Master. Está a sacar 8. Sim. On field. Ele é... É um bocadinho.
Precisely. I will be Cheng Sheng's final host, and the tradition of passing down the contract will end with me.
Even the gods of old struggle to achieve true immortality. First you want to save others, then you want to save yourself. Now you even want to save me. You're getting greedy, Baizhu.
But isn't wanting to have it all what makes us human? For a selfish moth like me, who's afraid of the flame yet yearns for the light, the only path forward is up towards the moon.
Huh. For once, Paimon just does not know what to say.
Dr. Baizhu, Traveler, what are you still chatting about? The food's about to get cold.
We also have coconut milk for Changsheng and Paimon.
Okay, fine. Let's go grab some food. Paimon has a bunch of burning questions, but that can wait till after we've eaten.
Só que, na minha opinião, para quem já tem a Ayaka,
I
ganhou
do envy Paimon sometimes.
True. And yet, although we call them, are such things as these not precise?
Mas eu adoro tu. Tu adoras arcos em RPGs. Fazer mais um pulo, estás a ver? Só se viesse a lua. Acho que isto é 14 ou 13 ou que raio é. Sim. 10. 11, 12, exato, 13. Uhum. Porque a cobra é o que mantém ainda o Baizhu vivo. Bem, vamos lá fazer mais. Sim, porque o Baizhu tem uma doença incurável. Devido à cobra. Basicamente, ele cura todos para pôr a doença dentro